Hey everybody, this is Bowman74 making another video for FIRE-ACCUNOCK for their new lighted knock that's coming out called FIRE-ACCUNOCK. And what the guys have done is they've teamed up with FIRE-NOCK, just their lights, not their knocks of course, just their lights, and made a special pack designed to fit the ACCUNOCK. So basically, when you order one of these, you're going to get three different things. Now these all have instructions of what to do as far as installation, but I'm just going to go over a quick video here. So you'll get these are actually computer chips, which is great. You can change out the batteries. They're actually not going to be attached to the ACCUNOCK itself. So if you break a knock, you can just replace the knock without replacing the whole lighting system. If your battery runs dead, then you just replace the battery instead of buying a whole new system. So properly taken care of, these should last you a very, very long time. In the guy's opinion at ACCUNOCK, these are the most advanced lighting system in the world, and that's why they're using them. So you'll basically get the CPU units, or the microchips, the batteries in a 3-pack. Now you can buy these from, I don't know if they'll be selling these, but you can buy these from FIRE-ACCUNOCK.com, just the battery kits. Now this is the hunting circuits, the batteries, and then what FIRE-ACCUNOCK calls an extreme shock battery cap. Now these are cool because these are actually anchored into your arrow, and it creates a cradle for this. This is a FIRE-ACCUNOCK light with the battery attached. This is what you end up with. So I'm just going to quickly explain how the process works. So you just remove your existing ACCUNOCK. Now, by the way, these will only work with ACCUNOCK, so if you want to use them for other knocks, then just go to FIRE-ACCUNOCK, and I'm sure you can find some, but these are specially designed for ACCUNOCK. So if you buy them from ACCUNOCK.com, they're only going to work with ACCUNOCK. So let's go into, this is the little anchor piece, little black piece that I showed you earlier. Now these have more instructions into it that I'm not going into right now that you'll have to follow, but they're super easy. And basically, once you put this little O-ring on there, you're going to screw the screw in, just hand tight, nothing too tight. Make sure it goes into your arrow, because earlier I was having some trouble. Even though it's perfect fit, it's meant to fit tight. So try to play with it, push it in a couple times, and make sure it's going to fit your arrow, because you're going to want to glue these things into your arrow shaft, or else they might work for 4 or 5 times, but eventually this anchor is going to get shoved down in there through shooting. So I'm not going to put any glue in here, but what you do is you'll glue the inside of the arrow shaft with some glue while you're turning it, and then you'll push this in. Now this has a perfectly fitted O-ring that pushes the glue down into your arrow, and you're going to want to insert that the full way, and it'll stay there. Now you're going to want to unscrew this and just remove the screw, leaving the anchor down in there. Now this screw is specifically designed for ACCUNOCK, of course. So after you do that, you're going to want your arrow set overnight so this glue can dry in here. If you use epoxy, whatnot, they recommend that you leave this set overnight. So let's pretend it's the morning. I get up, I've assembled my FIRE-ACCUNOCK light with the battery, and this is cool because all this does is you just put it into the arrow and it'll sit exactly where it's supposed to, right down there. And then you simply, let's use red, you simply take your ACCUNOCK and align it with your fletching, of course. Now I don't know if you ever knew this, but there's a little K on every ACCUNOCK right here. It stands for K arrow, and that part is actually supposed to go towards your opposite fletching color. So let's just press that down, make sure it's all aligned. Now the cool thing about, these lights, let me put on a little cap there, is they're actually going to fire when you fire your arrow. Now the computer monitor will make it lit as soon as you fire that arrow. Now I don't know if this camera is doing this justice, but this is a super bright light. They've been field testing these all last couple weeks, and Tim emailed me and said he thinks they're finally ready. So these things are great. Now after you fire them and find them on your target, or they went through a deer and you go find them, they'll still be lit. And they stay lit for 10 seconds after they get lit, and they'll stay lit until you just do the same thing that I just did to turn it off, which is just a tap, and then of course to turn it back on, you tap it. Now this is a great way because you can test whether this is working or not. And the best part about this, of course, is if you want to switch a ACCUNOCK color, you just take off your knock, because the light is actually in the arrow. Put on a different ACCUNOCK. Well, that's clear and pink. Well, red works a little better. But, you know, you break your knock, it's not going to break the light, and you're not going to have to buy a new thing. You could take out the light, which is great. You can always see functionality, what's going on with it. Of course, this is still lit, and the easiest way to unlight that is to put back on a knock and just give it a little tap, and that's all it takes is just a little tap to get it started. And you know, I'm just tapping it here, but out on the field, these things will work 99.99% of the time, always. And they're just a great little invention, and hope you enjoyed my video, and please visit the guys at www.accunock.com.